if I may say this, I believe that there are at least 6 questions
At least.
that one should ask themselves before any major involvement.
What's question number 1?
Question number 1, is this person a compromising person? Or is it their way or no way?
You should already, part of the interview process. If they're not a compromising person, you already know you're going to be enslaved. It's going to be their way or the highway. And it's funny when it's their way or the highway because they make sure that you don't have any employment. So you don't have nowhere else to go. So it's not like you want to hit the highway because you don't have any choice. What's number 2?
It says, are they self-centered? Do they just think about themselves?
If they self-centered, you already know. They going to be in the mirror. He's going to be in the mirror for 3 hours, and he'll want you to be in the mirror for 20 seconds to get ready.
See, we're not going to beat up on the women, too, because I understand that men have some problems. Men, y'all have some problems, or y'all just ain't going to tell?
Our men don't have no problems.
Okay, y'all just ain't going to tell.
These Boazes are ready for wives.
Because, ladies, we can get self-centered.
You know they ready for wives? All the single Boazes just say, hooty hoo. Told you they ready for wives.
Woo. That courageous class is working.
Courageous class is working.
Okay, number 3.
Uh-huh.
Do they have a giving spirit, or do they always want to take?
Woo, boy, that's powerful right there.
Wow.
They always want to go Dutch.
Don't worry.
Ladies, if you are currently interviewing, not dating, you don't use the word dating, but if you're currently interviewing a gentleman that just want to go Dutch all the time, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Because once you get married, guess what you're still going to be going? Dutch.
And that's not going to work.
And you're going to have separate checking accounts because you're going Dutch.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Are they kind, gentle, and above all, are they loving?
Come on. You ought to be. Listen, how they treat their mother is how they going to treat you.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, because I knew he was about his mama. And I said, if he going to treat his mama
Why you going to tell him I'm a mama's boy? That's not right.
He was your mama's boy. And it was okay because he wasn't smothered. But I could just tell. And another thing is, I could tell how he treated my mom.
Right.
When W.R.Starr brought roses, it just wasn't for me.
Right.
And he didn't bring her one. He brought her a dozen.
That's right.
Every time.
That's right.
And I think I was only 17 at that time.
I spent all my check for that one little date. 2 dozen of roses. She got a car, too. I didn't even really know her mama. I'm up here saying, love, your future son-in-law, first date.
He was claiming that. Number 5, are they saved and walking with Jesus? Are they equally yoked with you? Are they going in the same direction as you, or are you trying to make them out of a project? I love the way Pastor Hop says that. We don't have time for projects.
Right. You
can't fix them up.
Right. Can't fix them up. Think you're going to put them up on jack them up and check their heart and do some adjusting. No. Just like the men expect you to be wife material and ready, you should expect the husband to be husband material and ready. You have to deal with somebody don't want to get off of Xbox and what's the other ones? See, none of the men saying that because they don't want to. They're like, ooh, they know I'm on it all day.
But I think that's a very important factor. And a question was asked. He said, well, do they have to be in church or do they have to love God? And I said, the number one thing is they have to have a heart for God. And
if they have a heart for God, they in church. So let me help you out.
Yes.
Because if they not in church and they just saying, well, I'm spiritual, Everybody's spiritual, but what spirit is in you?
Yeah.
Everybody's spiritual. And this is one of my indicators, and I tell the daughters of this house, I say, listen, this is good. You asked him, what do he feel? How does he feel about tithing? I said, now, if he has a problem with tithing, then he don't trust God. So if he don't trust God, how's he going to trust you?
Help us.
We say, Jehovah Jireh, my provider, but then you want to try to act like he didn't provide, that you got that job on your own, you sustain it on your own. Listen, God can have you to wake up and just forget everything. All your mental intellect can be erased.
Yes.
And who will still have a job then? You wouldn't even remember how to get there.
Yeah.
So you need God.
Amen.
And you need to recognize from where your blessings are coming from.
Now, the last one, are they controlling or manipulative? Be aware of those type of.
That's right.
I'm not going to, I want to make this clear, because oftentimes when we say things like this, we just get it stuck in our mind that it's all pertaining to the ladies and we got to be aware of him. But men, I need you to be aware too.
Right.
I need you to be aware that there can be some, who's that? What was her name? Why Did I Get Married to? Angela.
Angela, yeah. Angela.
I'm sorry, Angela, if you in the house. I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you.
Angela was a trip.
But you don't. But that's not. That's a crazy kind of attachment that somebody can control your lives. Love is free. Love has liberty to do what it want to do. And I understand this, that the word submission is just what it means. But it does not mean that you are a slave to me. Right. That I'm not going to control what your thoughts and your actions and everything and make you become a Stepford wife. Wow. That's not the role. Because what you're doing is you're creating an ungodly soul tie.
That's right.
Because a soul tie doesn't control you like that.
Yeah, every move you make, like, where you going? How long you going to be there? Who's going to be there? What you going to wear? I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Well, it's just McDonald's. You know, in every move, you know. I
wrote this down. And
going through your phone and all that type. That's some crazy nonsense.
Yes, that's crazy. But I wrote this down. Oftentimes in relationship, it says, often we place mental restrictions with the people that we believe that we love. Wow. Whether it be our parents or living their dreams through their children, or someone trapped into a relationship. Wow. True love means loving people for who they are, right? Not trying to channel them into who you want them to be. Right. The greatest service that you can do for the one whom you love is allow them to grow into their soul's highest potential. Wow. Sometimes this will mean actively helping them, but other times this will mean just recognizing when you are standing in the way of what's happening. And it's just like with Pastor when I told him, I want to go back to school because that's what I want to do. Right. Now, a controlling person will say, you don't need that, and you don't need to do this, but he hasn't considered what I wanted to do. Right. And I thank God that he's always been that to me. He's always allowed me to have my own opinion, because a controlling person won't allow you to have nothing. It's like his way or her way or no way. And that's not of God. That's not love. Some people will call that love, and that's not love. That's not love. If he got to control everything about me, then that's not love. Right. All I'm doing is doing it so I can just make you happy. But what about what makes me happy? Right. And those are the ungodly soul ties that oftentimes we mistake that thing for a good thing, and it's not. Right. Now, I don't mind a little craziness when Pastor comes in, where you been? Oh, I like that.
I'm looking for bags. Because I know she ain't been over nobody's house. She's been to somebody's store. That's what, I'm looking for bags. And then she be trying to be slick with it, like, I've never seen this before. But she like, this is old. It's only old because you hid it in the closet. And it's only about a week old. Shoot. I know. So husbands, don't fall for that. I'm telling you. I'll be like, I go through a period where I say, let me see the receipt. Yeah. You hear? They're like, all right. And, we fine with it because we want our wives, ultimately, if you are a true husband, listen, you want your wife to look her best. Yes. And if her best is a sacrifice financially for her to because when she look her best, she perform and act, at her best. at work, at home. But if I tell her that, no, you're not getting nothing for the rest of this year, you got enough clothes in that closet getting there, she's going to be pouting most of the day. And guess what? I like my eggs kind of hard. They're going to be soft because she's not going to be thinking, you know. So I'm just telling you, so hey, that's how I got to work. So a person can actually control another through soul ties. So in ungodly relationship, these soul ties may place us in the emotional and mental bondage, just as she was saying.
Now, I have a scripture for that. If you would look at Romans 8 and 15.
Okay.
Romans 8 and 15. It says, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
Wow. So ungodly soul ties can potentially establish.
Yes.
If the relationship is not under the lordship of Christ.
Yes. And
so if y'all listen, if y'all interviewing and y'all not never talking about worship, never talking about what God is doing in your life, you're never praying together, that's the challenge right off the bat. Yeah. See how he or she feels on the first interview or the first date when you say, do you mind if we pray before we go out? And check their body language. What? And if they got like, man, we ain't going to church. Right, and we're not going out either.
Help us. So God demands first place in our heart.
First place. Say first place.
First place.
That's where he demands.
He demands first place in our heart with our spouses, because our spouses are second to God.
That's right. That's right. And when you put your spouse before God, I guarantee you it's going to be your relationship, everything is going to start heading south. Heading south. And if you don't get control of yourself, you're going to eventually end up south. Y'all know where south is, right? In hell. Boy, that was too deep. They're like, ooh. Y'all looking at your spouse like the pilots be saying, pull up, pull up, pull up.
So it can even be with our children, our family, our friends.
So the children come third. She's giving you the order. God first, then your spouse, then your children. Then your family. So you out of order. If you say, well, my kids come before everybody.
Out of order.
You out of order. What about God? What about the one where they said the two shall be one? How do you separate and squeeze the kids in there? Your kids come after your husband. They come after your wife. Okay, let me help y'all. Because some of y'all looking kind of soggy. You're looking like you're sucking on some lemons right now. Well, I don't agree with that, Pastor. Well, what's going to happen if something happened to you and you're the provider and you need your spouse to provide for your kids now? Your kid's not even old enough to work. Mm-hmm. But you have belittled your husband or your wife and made your kids become before them, so now they could take if they're not careful, they could take an attitude that, hey, let them go out and make it happen. I know you down right now, but you've been putting them ahead of me all this time.
Yes.
Let them make it happen. So you have to be careful. So she clearly said, what's the order? God, your spouse, then who else?
Children.
And then who's next?
Your family.
Your family. So it's nowhere in the world you'd be like, well, hey, I got to go and do this for my sister. Not before you take care of your family. Now, if your sister can't handle what's going on, or if your brother can't handle what's going on, then maybe y'all need to help him make some different arrangements.
Right.
But what kind of man would I be if my car's sitting on E, but I got Sister Cheryl and Sister Mary's cars, I'm filling them up. But we can't go to work because I had to give them all our gas money. And now we lose our jobs. Come on, talk to me today.
Don't make sense.
So, after the family, then what?
Friends and associates.
I don't care if they your BFF. Or is it BFFL? Because it's best friend for life, right? Why they leave off the L? I guess the L wasn't cool to say BFFL. So they just say BFL. So, your best friend, I don't care how long you known them. When you become united, when you have holy matrimony, listen, you better get off that phone with your best friend because, you know, they are interfering. Listen, I'm going to tell you, this is what Pastor do when I come in, you know, and if it's due time, we talked about that, I say, tell Brenda bye. She say, it's not Brenda. Well, tell the other Brenda bye, because there's only so many people she talked to. You know, she said, this is my mama. Tell your mama you'll call her back. See, I switch it up a little bit more respectful. Tell your mama you'll call her back. And she know what that means. It means that, baby, I've been thinking about you all day, and I'm not going to wait till you talk to everybody in the church. I've been sending nice texts to you saying, you know, I know your hair is lovely. I didn't get to see you, you know, when you got dressed this morning, blah, 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 you know, but I'm on my way home. So your best friend, they need to know their place. Tell somebody, say, your best friend got to know their place.
Your best friend got to know their place.
Because think about, oh, I got to deal with this. Think about, some marriages are struggling right now because you simply don't know how to tell people to go home.
Wow, help us.
They camping out at your house, eating all your food. And if you're not careful, the ungodly soul tie comes in at, they start looking at your husband, looking at your wife.
Woo.
Tell somebody, it happens. It happens.
It happens.
So I'm telling you right now, we always had us a little rule. You know, I don't care if it's my brother. Don't nobody come just hang out at my house when I'm not at home. No man comes and hang out. You're not even coming to do in my yard. Period. None of her friends, not even cousins, come and hang out at the house when she's not at home. Mm-hmm. You say, well, what y'all saying? Y'all don't trust each other? No, we don't trust them.
Woo.
Hey, I think I better leave that one right there. Leave that one right there. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, when I say we don't trust them, y'all know what I'm saying. Because I don't want none of my family to be saying, Pastor, you know I don't want you. Her cousins will stop talking to me.